And good evening to all of you. Welcome to the GP2 division here at the Excite Racing League. We are here at round 16, the Buds International Circuit on the outskirts of New Delhi in India. Last night saw quite an interesting race in F1 with very few survivors making it to the flag. Let's see if the lower division drivers can be able to give us the action that we were so vigorously denied. I'm Pete Markroft, and joining me in the box tonight is Chris Moss on coverage brought to you exclusively by GT Omega Racing and GamePod.co.uk. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Swish, and good evening to all the people watching the stream tonight. Going to be an interesting race.
Yeah, I mean, last night we did see quite a lot of drivers pushing the rules quite a bit with regards to the track limits. We're expecting the stewards to start coming down very hard on people who are pushing and extending the rules as much as possible. It's not something we approve of. Currently on our laps at the moment, we've got Nikita at the head of the Snake in the Ferrari. Not seen her racing for a while, actually. Cloudy conditions here in India, so it'll be interesting to see if the tyre wear issues that we saw in last night's Formula 1 race abate, and instead it all makes things a bit easier. Well, drivers have been warned to watch out for extending the track limits, as we are expecting penalties to start being issued for people who don't comply. So Nikita now just going around the final corner on the prime tyres here. The white wall at harder tyres, so they are more durable, but are going to lack the pace in qualifying. DRS flat wide open down towards turn 1. Nikita looking to try and get some points back here. She's got a lot of pace, Nikita, our only female driver so far, but it's doing the girls really proud.
Yeah, she definitely is. I think she's been right up there. Just a shame she's had a few silly mistakes and
Yeah, definitely, I agree with you there, Chris. So the DRS flap is wide open now from Nikita, bang on time, along with most of the curves being used. A little smidgen being saved for the final part of the track, pushes very close to the graph there. Just about gets away with that. Into turn 4, this tricky blind corner. Just misses the apex, but pushes a bit of limits on the grip there, but gets away with that. On the screen, Jordan Kelly signs in saying, "Hey guys, it's Jordan, good evening to you." Into turn 5 from Nikita, they went a little too wide, almost went totally off the track there. Just about recovered it through 6, but compromised the line into 7 and 8, and then through 9, catching the lines quite cleanly there. And this is tricky horseshoe-ass corner. Got to be careful on the outside, that's totally off the track, not even close there from Nikita. Got totally run out of grip there. Heading into the chicane, start sector 3, missing the apex on the inside, compromised the line at the exit. A bit of a scruffy lap here, really not quite on pace at the moment. But on the prime tyres, lower grip, cloudy conditions might not be so yielding. Into the final corner now, time looks pretty strong. How close is it going to be to the F1 division? Looks pretty tight to me. A 1:25.6, that was about the pace F1 Nige did in the F1 division, so good banker lap there from Nikita. And Jordan saying on the stream she has got pace for a girl. Oh, people are going to be booing at you, Jordan.
Nikita's definitely up there. She's probably one of the quickest in the league.
She's certainly got the power and the ability to go over the line quickly. Living does 69 metres out of the Red Bull on the option tyres. Has a bit of a comparison here. Has done a 1:25.9 on the options. So it shows you just what kind of pace that Nikita has. Bernie, meanwhile, on the prize, a 1:26.1, about half a second off the ultimate pace. I think he'll be personally quite happy with that. Oh, Jigsaw, meanwhile, a 1:26.3. He'll be wanting to find a lot more pace than that, especially on the option tyres. Show me 22, last night's F1 race retiree. Apparently, he left his traction control and ABS on, and that's what ruined his race. And some racing driver's excuse for you, isn't it, Chris?
Yep, definitely is. If he can pull the pace out tonight, then I think we can let him off.
Well, onto the prime tyres, goes a little wide at the final corner, but has managed to do a 1:25.4, so that supplants Nikita, and that's kind of the pace place where he wants to be. Jamie 25.03 on a 1:25.5 is currently in P4, so trying to find someone who's actually on a lap here, because they're all on their in-laps now. We've got a few of you watching on the stream so far, get in on the box like Jordan has, give us some comments and questions. We'll do what we can to get through them during the coverage in this next 2 hours or so of the race coverage here live on Twitch.tv.
I find it interesting, Fozzie's done a 1:25 dead on the prime tyres.
The pace is definitely possible. We've seen that from some of the guys up there. And don't forget, last night's pole sitter Velocity in F1 did a 1:24 dead on the options. So about a second difference, judging for compound and league. Can't say much fairer than that. The GP2 guys really showing they've got what it takes here.
TFC Dan done a 1:25 dead also on the options, and Nikita's also done a 1:25 dead on the prime.
Yeah, so better lap from Nikita there, really pulled that out. Sean B22 125.4. Half a second off his teammate, not too bad. XRL Rusty meanwhile on 125.7, so the times are quite consistent. We're looking at 2 or 3 tenths between each pace on the terms of the lap time. Tom 65 on an out lap, very far into it. So we're right along with Connor Ice in the Williams here, in the option tyres, heading towards the final corners. On the stream, Jordan saying, come on Sean, show me the pace. XRL Bernie, show me the pace. Well, Sean's certainly done it, but Bernie needs to find a few more tenths to be competitive, I think.
Yeah, I think most of the guys they've done the low, probably 26s and really high 25s. They probably need to improve by another half a second if they can.
It's so difficult to find half a second on a track like this, though. Connor Ice went a little deep and locks his tyres, both at turn 1 and at turn 3. But he's got 2 cars ahead of him here, and a great chance to steal a toe, almost like the Ferraris tried to do in real life. Hopefully this will give him a better chance to get some more speed, but he's not taking advantage of that Sauber there. I would have got behind that and stole a few k's of speed, personally. Heading on towards turn 4, getting on the brakes nice and early, lock the tyres on the inside there, push them wide a little, and then you got a little bit of tail slip as well, so a scruffy lap here from Connor Ice. Certainly good driving there from that Red Bull. I think it was living down 69, that got totally out of the way. Into turn 5, Connor Ice pushing the apexes beautifully at 5, 6 and 7, excellent work there. And then for 8 and 9, keeps it nice and early, cut the inside curve there, and it just pushed him out a little wide at 9, very easy to do that. And then at 10, he's just underestimated the corner there, got on the gas a little too early, and that pushed him out wide onto the rumble. But into turn 11 now, coming the inside curve beautifully. Oh, turn 12 is taking too much speed through there. That's pushing him off the track. Do that too much of race trim, and you're likely to get yourself a penalty. But Connor Ice is certainly attacking here in this Williams, really doing his best to try and get his corner a little bit too much of the inside curve there, compromises exit, and the lap time not impressive at 26.5. Tom 65, meanwhile, on the prime tyres, has got a Mercedes warming its tyres right ahead of him. Now Mercedes has got to get out of the way soon, and he pulled over at the very last second. That was not very good driving from that Mercedes driver there. I'm not sure who that was, but he's also now coming up behind one of the Ferraris. I don't know if that's Nikita or Sean B, but Tom 65's confidence has been badly rocked here, going through turn 9. Great driving from the Ferrari driver, diving deep off to the outside runoff here. And once again, Tom showing the ease that people are going off at the inside corner and getting the extra speed. But he's been able to carry that extra speed through the chicane and run the rumble strips as wide as he dares there to avoid getting pulled into the barriers. Coming on to the final corner now, very tricky corner this, wide entry, narrow exit, and most people favour the karting line here, avoiding the rumble strip. Tom 65 taking the more traditional racing line, but on the prime tyres can only do a 26.1.
I'm on board with I Love Jigsaws. He's done a 126.3 so far. He's now on the option tyres, just going down past turn 4. He's taken a very clean line, but he's used all of his curves on that massive straight towards turn 4.
So I think Bernie's realised that if he's setting a bad example if he completed that lap, so again 2 great corner cuts there that were extending the track, so backed off wisely. Jigsaw's just got on board with him. He's clipped the apexes beautifully at 7, 8 and 9 there. Riding for a 10, got out the gas very fairly, making sure he's keeping it well within the island. This is very good fair driving from Jigsaw's. He might be lacking a few tenths in pace, but it's a clean lap, and that's something I'm not used to. Oh, maybe a crosswalk a little too soon. He's pushed a bit too wide that chicane there, and that's compromised him into the penultimate corner. Pace, I'm not sure if this is going to be much of an improvement, if an improvement at all, to be honest. So little grip out that final corner. DRS flap open. It is an improvement. At 25.2, found nearly a second there. Well, that's much impressive. On the screen, Jordan saying the laps in GP2 are as good as F1. Well, that's why quite a lot of the F1 drivers do suck here. Let's not forget Sean Bean and Ron Board at the moment now, who's cut 2 corners in the naughty boy. He's actually won 2 F1 races this season, showing that he's got the underlying pace to be a division ahead of where he is.
Both of them, he actually won both F1 and GP2. First ever driver to do that.
That's right. And Sean Beagle's a 125.030 on the prime tyres. He's thrown the gauntlet down to his teammate, who I believe is only about a tenth or so off that, unless the lead at the top has changed. Let's take a quick look Yes, XRL Fozzie's still out in pole, but on a 1:24.3. For comparison, that's not too far off Ice Cold Andy's time. That's pace for you. Show Me 22, 1:25.0 on the primes, a very, very good lap. Same with STSC down on 1:25.0, but on the options, Nikita only, look at it, it's less than 4/100ths of a second between second and fourth. That's unbelievably close. There's only 4,000ths between third and fourth. Jigsaw's in fifth on a 1:25.2, and then Jamie on a 2:5.03 on a 1:25.5. So between the top six, there's only 1.2 seconds. That is close.
Even closer for 8th and 9th, only 1,000 separating them.
That's bad luck, that, when you get in that position. Sean B's on an in-lap, so let's skip past him. Now, Nikita's warming up for an out-lap. Probably going to be a final run this by the time she makes it down. A long way away from the start, so let's try and find someone who's actually on a lap here. Yeah, Living Dead 69 on an out-lap. MJI1, we're not seeing much of this guy, and judging by the pace here, I think this might be an in-lap. Let's ride on board just to see how he goes through the penultimate corner like. 1:25.9 is his best. He's shown good driving and racecraft for MJI1, but lacked the ultimate pace to be near the front, and yeah, unfortunately it was an in-lap.
Most of the drivers are in the pits getting ready for their final runs.
Yeah, we're in that crossover period, aren't we, where people are just going out either on their outlaps now or about to start their outlaps. But on ahead of, I've got Nikita, who's currently in P4, needs to find a few tenths of a second if she wants to supplant a teammate and mount a challenge to be near the front. With the pole sensor being on options, oh no, she's diving to the pits. Well, she's got time to get out there for an outlap, but it's going to be pretty close, this. Jamie 2:5.03, another one on an outlap. Louis Dead 69, here we go, just got through turn 3. DRS flap now wide open, he's on the option tyres on a 1:25.9. He really needs to be getting at least a second off that time if he wants to not avoid being held up behind the prime tyres runners at the start of the race. He really needs to pull something out here. Lap time doesn't look too bad for now, going through turn 4 though, cut the apex quite well. Heading down towards turn 5, looks pretty reasonable to me. Keeps it in the aisle nice and well, goes a little wide at 6 and that throws him off the inside at 7. So easy to do there, into 8 and 9. Oh, just about keeps it in the aisle, and that was literally right on the edge of what you're allowed to do there. As I say, viewers, you've got to push the limits, but do not break them. Oh, and this 9 goes over the inside there. Definitely an advantage gained by that. Into corner 13, missing the inside curb. Looking pretty good through 14 here. Nice wide in the apex, beautifully downhill. Looks pretty aggressive here from Lewin. He's definitely on the attack. Into the final corner, deliberately avoiding hitting the curb. This looks pretty solid to me. Is he going to be in the 24s? No, a 25.1. He's got time for one more lap, but on the option tyres, would you want to do it?
Oh, he's gone massively wide, that's the lap over.
Well, XRL Bernie is currently in P12 at the moment on a 1:26.1. He's going to want to find some pace if he wants to have any chance of fighting for decent points here in the race. I mean, connections withstanding, of course. We don't know how well that's going to hold up. But into turn 3 goes Bernie now. Does a little wide. Gets on the edge of the apex there. Doesn't really touch it. But again, doesn't lose too much time here because at the moment there's no marbles. In the race, though, you find yourself getting loads of debris on your tyres and losing a lot of grip.
Interestingly, MJI1 has only just gone out on track with less than a minute left. He's not going to
get round. Bernie there going a little wide at turn 4, just on the inside curve there. I will slow him down as I head into turn 5. Wants to try and get these apexes nice and clean. He's actually gone over the white lines. One of the Force Indians, and his teammate, Lemon Dead 69, gets right on the grass to get out of his way. That's team playing for you. And Bernie goes a little wide at 9 there, pushing the rules a bit too much. He heard me last night how much I dislike this, so I'm very disappointed to see my co-commentator not following my lead.
I think where he lost it in turn 6 was probably because he got distracted by his teammate going massively off track and all the...
Yeah, but there's no excuse for 10 and 11.
Well, no excuse for turn 10 and 11, but...
Into the final corner, and he's aborted. I think he's realised that it is going to be an illegal time, so he's got himself right in the back of the grid. Connor Rice has got a chance to go ahead of him here. He's only got to gain 3 or 4 tenths. He's looking pretty close between these two. Has he found the pace he needs? No, he hasn't. He's got nowhere near it. XRL Fozzie in the meantime, he's on final lap here. He's obviously feeling under threat with someone switching to the options. Oh, he goes a little wide at turn 13 there, gets a little bit of speed scrubbed off the tyres, rolls on the outside and again crosses the white line there, even by an inch. But this is really getting close to the rugged edge here from XRL Fozzie. Into the final corner, gets on the towards the curb there. He might just gain some time. At 1:24 dead, that's as close to velocity as he could possibly get. As Sean Bean has aborted his options run, so he's now out of it. Jamie2503 is going round, which is not an impressive lap, and he is the last of the drivers. So I'll give you a rundown. On pole position, XRL Fozzie at 1:24.0, but did use an extra set of tyres, and that could compromise him in the race. Sean B22, meanwhile, driving for Pakistan this week on a 1:25.0 on the primes. Then we've got STSC Dan 97 on a 1:25.0 as well, and then Nikita also on a 25.0 on the primes. Extremely close stuff there. Then Living Dead 69 on 1:25.1, so that's literally 1/10 of a second between 4, 2/10 of a second between 5. Unbelievably close stuff there as well. Jigsaw's in 6th place. So we've got Jamie 250 Fred 25.5, XRL Rusty at 25.7, MGI 1 at 25.9, Rybo at 25.9, and then Tom 65 at 26.1, and XRL Bernie at 26.1. So also 4 drivers covered by 2:10s. We've got some great clusters here. On the stream, Jordan is saying the pace has surprised him, and he feels that they're some of the quickest drivers he's seen. It's true. Some of the drivers in the lower divisions in GP2, GP3, and even F4 and F5000 can really catch you out with their pace. On the stream, Motorsport Nerd checks in saying evening all. Good evening to you. So, I'm going to put you on the spot here, Chris. Who are you going to pick for victory?
With the pace I've seen so far, I'd say Fozzie, but I'm going to go outside the box and I'm going to say Living Dead.
Well, Living Dead 69 is an interesting choice. He was obviously compromised in a few of his early laps, but has got the tyres. Nikita's shown she's got pace, but as has Sean Bean. Now, he had some recall on the 100% fuel last night, driving in the F1 division, and whether he had his settings wrong or not, that will help him in the early laps here. It's a question of whether Fozzie can maintain the fuel load. We've seen quite a few times here where drivers do brilliantly well in the qualifying laps, but come race period, they just don't have the control. Meanwhile, Motorsport is saying, would have qualified 5th if he'd done his best lap then. Well, that bodes well for your division.
That's not looking good for me.
I do have to say that we do have a nice, healthy grid here tonight. We are only missing one, which is Perez 29. The rest are all here. Or we've got subs for the guys. So we've got a nice clustered field. Hopefully, we're going to have good connection. That's me knocking on wood there to hopefully give us some luck. Needless to say, we've got a very close scrap as well, because while Fozzie set the pace on the option tyres, we've got 4 drivers all very close together, literally a 10th, whether the compounds are the same or not, from 2nd to 5th. And then right at the bottom, from MJI 1 all the way down to Bernie, we've also got literally 2/10 between them. And would you know it, someone's set up the race before we pressed ready. Nice one, guys. Well, in the meantime, all you people watching on the stream, thank you for tuning in. Craig's 1, 2, 3, 4 asking what has he missed. Some very, very fast qualifying pace. That's what you've missed, because our pole position sitter, the XRL Fozzie, set a time equal with Velocity from last night to get pole position. Well, we've also got very close gaps throughout the field. Great chance for someone close action. Let's get to the grid and find out what happens.
All I can say is I hope every driver is there, because we didn't get a chance to check.
So here we are on the grid at Bud International Circuit on the outskirts of New Delhi in India for the GP2 division. Are we going to see XRL Fozzie retain his position from the outside, or are we going to see some of the other drivers do a great job from behind him? We're waiting for the 5 lights to go out. At that point, we will be racing here at the Bud Circuit, and we are off now. So at the start, Fozzie gets a good start behind him. Meantime, Sean B's kept him close. And also one of the Mercedes looking to P3, goes to the outside, bit of a three-car scrap, heading into the first corner, Limited 69 to get to it. One of the cars is lagging horrendously. Nikita looking to go on the inside at turn 3 there to get third place. Almost got rear-ended by Mercedes, who took out his teammate there, completely got the braking totally out of position. Sean Bean and XRL Fozzy have broken away. Nikita in third place. Under pressure now from MJI1, who's caught up behind in fourth place. Behind them, we've got one of the Connorized in the Williams doing a great job to catch up. And MJI1 thinking about on the inside of Nikita, who goes too deep, goes wide at turn 4, and that's going to allow Connorized to get a run at him down towards P5. Oh, Connorized getting into the slipstream, looking to get a chance to make a big move here. Good look on the inside, gets out the gas, just not close enough. Up ahead, meanwhile, Sean Bean is all over the diffuser of XRL Fozzy despite the gap in the tyres. Both guys go a little wide at turn 9 into turn 10 here. Very tricky to get past here, but Sean Bean did it last night on his teammate Paragon in the F1 division, so anything's possible. Lost a bit of ground there on the McLaren, kept it within the white lines nicely.
That's a very scrappy first lap by these GP2 guys.
I'm not sure which of the Mercedes it was that tried the lunge on the outside of Nikita, but that driver definitely cost his teammate, and I think both guys are right near the back of the pack now.
Oh, Nikita spun.
Oh, was that contact?
No, she spun it on final corner.
So Nikita's made a big mistake and dropped out of the running by spinning it at the final corner. Meanwhile, there's a bit of a scrap going on behind me. I think that's Nikita having a look at the back of Tom 625 in the Sauber, having gone all the way down to Thomas Island. Jigsaw goes totally off the track at turn 1. Nikita going around the outside of Tom 625 at turn 2 and has made it slip for turn 3. What a great response from Limited 69. The Red Bull has managed to make her be supplanted by both him and Tom 625. Nikita all the way down to the back of the points now. She will be furious at herself for that mistake.
Yeah, I think I do know who caused the first corner incident, but I'm not prepared to say names on stream. So
no, well that's the drivers after the incident. Meantime, XRL Rusty is under big pressure here as Tom 625 got a better run out of turn 4, thinking about the inside of 5, but has to get out the gas there. Just too little downforce as all the guys are kicking up the dust at turn 6 and 7, really pushing these track limits wide. We did say before this race started we will be looking out for corner cutting, and well, evidently no one's listened to us because they're all doing it already.
Jamie's lagging big time again.
Oh, Cal Surprise. John on the stream is saying quality star. What do you mean? There was drivers being punted off the track. That's not quality.
Ultimate Fozzy and Sean both got an amazing start and have got about a 6-second lead probably over third place now.
XRL Rusty at P7 is looking to get behind I think that's I'm a Boast actually. No, it's Isle of Jigsaw, sorry, I was thinking of the wrong I'm. Into turn 1, but just not close enough to affect the pass. Meanwhile, ahead of them, that's Connorized in the Williams, I believe, in P5. Looking at the back of his rival, looking at the back of Connorized, who in turn is looking at the back of MJI1. But behind them, a huge train of cars here, absolutely crazy. On the stream, Craig's Fish saying no one in the mood to chat. They will be soon. DRS effective move here from XRL Rusty goes at the inside of Isle of Jigsaw. Has to get out the gas there because Jigsaw took the wide karting line. Tom 65 meanwhile under threat from the Red Bull. Is that XRL Bernie behind? No, it's Living Dead 69. But you got a better run than Living Dead out of turn 4 into turn 5. All drivers tripping over each other. There's so little grip due to the aerodynamic turbulence. Into 7 and into 8 and 9 here. Living Dead 69 all over the back gearbox of Tom 625, who's chasing rapidly on the back of XRL Rusty in the Force India. Just keeping it inside the lines there. Oh, but top limit there, 69 goes too wide. As does Nikita behind him, who's now got a big run on him as a result of that off-track excursion, and has got a chance here to make an effective pass. But once again, if you're doing that kind of assist, you are going to get a penalty for an illegal overtake. At the moment, we've got a high-speed train going on here as all the guys are getting very close to each other, but are just not able to affect the passes. Living Dead 69 is all over the back now, Tom 625, but XRL Rusty is taking a great chance here on the back of Isle of Jigsaws, but it's just not close enough. Look at this, we've got 6 cars all right next to each other. This is insane.
Interestingly, Sean Bean has just taken the lead of the race on the prime tyres.
That's it. That makes it his race to lose then. If he's really in that position, there's a great chance here. Nikita with DRS gets onto the inside and Living Dead 69 switches back to the outside, and despite being on the prime tyres, has got the run. Can she stop the car into turn 4? Can Living Dead 69 defend? Takes the inside line on, contact between the pair of them there, but 69 retains the lead, and XRL Bernie, the ultimate opportunist, thinking about going around the outside towards turn 5, as we've lost connection to SCSC Darn already. Well, we did say he was lagging, and it looks like his connection has faltered. Hopefully he's not the first of many. That's the last thing we need. Strangely, I've got a sour behind Bernie. Is that Tom 625? No, it's Jamie, sorry. Look at the rate now, we've got 7 cars, all within maybe 2 seconds of each other. This is ridiculous stuff.
This could be what is going to be happening in 2014 race.
Well, if the rumours are to be believed, then yes, because the drivers have got to save all the fuel. And with the turbos going on and off, so anything can happen. Tom 625 thinking about moving along Jigsaws as XRL Rusty is the first to blink, dives into the box on lap 4. That makes him the earliest stopper we've seen so far this week. Now, Tom 625 has got Living Dead 69 chasing after him quickly, but with DRS, he's been able to defend the position. Well, Living Dead 69 seems so much more confident on the back of that car and on the brakes into the corners. Living Dead 69 thinking about diving at the inside in turn 3, and he's made that stick, and he's going to have the DRS on Tom 625. Well, look at the exit speed from Tom 625 at the corners, so much traction there. DRS flap now wide open the pair of them, but Living Dead 69 says, thank you very much for the low downforce setup, and goes away. Meanwhile, look, Jigsaw's looking at the back of Rybo, who's looking to turn at the back of his team in Connor Ives. Contact between Jigsaw's and Rybo there. Jigsaw's gets a better run off turn 4, heading out towards turn 5. But again, the legs of that Williams is just casting out of range.
XRL Bernie's just gone massively wide, but I think he spun at turn 3 because he got DRS with no one around
I
him.
love Jigsaw's Living Dead 69 both missed the chicane at 6 and 7. Unbelievably close stuff here. Living Dead 69 has got behind him Tom 625 in the Sauber, and all over the back of him, well, that's Nikita. She's up to P9 after that early corner spin. She'll be ruining that mistake. It's got us stuck in a massive train of cars, and it's not where you want to be when you have the pace to be right near the front, as Tom 625 goes totally off the track there, nowhere near the track limits. Nikita has to get out of the gas, she was caught out by him so much. On the stream, Motorsport Nerd reckons that this is going to be a race of undercut pit stop strategies. I will not be surprised. We saw what was going on with the tyre strategies last night. Some on 5 stops, some on 3 stops. Tom 65 DRS on the back of Living Dead 69. Weaves right, then left, but he's not going to be able to get past into turn 1. And the problem is Living Dead 69 will probably have DRS on the other guys, but makes a mistake at turn 2. Goes a little too wide on the entry. Tom 65 thinks about repeating the move that was done on him. And Nikita now thinking about the outside of turn 3. That's a ballsy move, but there's no grip there and has to yield. But the question is, has she got the better traction off the corner here? Looks pretty good to me. DRS is going to be available right now. Tom 65 with the same advantage. Nikita pulls out to the inside. Up ahead, we've got a 3-way duel here. That's unbelievable stuff. We've got who's that? Who's gone on the inside there? I believe that was out of Jigsaw's. He's done both the Williams. We've got a little too wide there as Nikita tries to move on Tom 625, but just doesn't make it stick. Now, all of a sudden, out of Jigsaw's the sandwich in a Williams duel. Both guys go wide. Living Dead 69 goes on the inside there. And now, look, oh my goodness, that was always going to happen. Unbelievable. Tom 625 tried to make a cheeky cut on the inside of Rybo and got spun out. Well, I used to think that was Tom 625. Yes, it was. Yeah. No, it was Jamie.
That's interesting because I just saw Jamie spin out when he didn't.
Oh, he was lagging, yeah, he was right behind him. He just spun out all of a sudden. Well, I do apologise for the quality of the commentary there, viewers. There was too much going on.
Yeah, Rybo cut the corner to the chicane and that affected Tom.
And he caused it to spin out. Make sure that's noted down. We'll definitely look at that after the race. But Living Dead 69 now starts at the back of Nikita. DRS flap of both cars now, so he's not going to get any advantage here. And Nikita's looking to get closer to the back of that Williams, which appears to be ahead. And that will be the Williams of, I believe, Connorized. It is Connorized indeed. Oh, Motorsport, no, to say to that then was whoa. Yeah, whoa indeed. I have no idea what the hell to say to that. And Nikita goes wide there, so Living Dead 69's got the better exit, but then Nikita just responds with curves so much easier, so much traction in that Ferrari. But despite this DRS flap open of both cars are good in a straight line. It's going to be a question of who's going to be latest on the brakes here. Living Dead 69 pulls to the inside. Nikita ties a little defensive jink there, but doesn't move too far. Living Dead 69 goes on the inside. Nikita gets pushed wide, and that's a classic DRS move.
I think Bravo might have got a penalty because he's now down in 9th.
Nikita goes wide at turn 5, just trying to go for the karting line to set up an unlikely pass on Living Dead, but that's not going to work here. And we finally got this chain broke up a little bit, for now. On the stream, meanwhile, Jordan Kelly's saying good racing. Good, but clumsy. As all the guys once again pushing the limits. Nikita going too wide at 10, and then ahead of him, Living Dead 69 almost does the same thing.
At the front of the race, Sean Bean and Fozzie, gap is about probably 5/10 of a second. It is so close between them. And Fozzie's still scrapping. MGR1 is actually closing down in 3rd.
Well, in the meantime, Conor Rice dives into the pits. He's the first to blink. So all of a sudden, we've got Nikita released on DRS on those prime tyres. Also, Living Dead looks like he's going to be going out for one more lap, so the tyres will start to fall away from him. But due to the turbulent air, Nikita went just a little too wide at 2, and that's going to ruin her chance down into the DRS zone. Up ahead, we saw a bit of a close scrap there, as MJI1 is indeed getting closer to the lead, up in 1st and 2nd place. Oh, look at that! Fozzie thought about the inside of Sean Bean there, but just had to back out of it. Sean Bean went the long way round to keep position. Since we haven't focused on the leaders so far, we'll ride on with them for a while longer due to the fact they are close on track. In between 6 and 7. Once again, Sean Bean going over the inside though. If you're doing that too much, you will get a penalty. And again, he goes off at turn 9. That's 2 in 1 lap. But Fozzie also goes off on the outside of 10. But the white lines are there to define the track, people. Stay in the white lines. Yep, Fozzie's done it twice now.
I think this is the case of anything you can do, I can do better.
Well, that's fine. Okay, there you go. You've both got penalties. Right, meantime, Fozzie goes into the pits, so he's going to get himself released from Sean Bean's turbulent air to change his tyres. MGI1, now on the prime tyres, of course, will go into P2. Jigsaw's will get a net P3, provided he doesn't box himself. And then Nikita in P5 has got past Living Dead 69, didn't get that on camera, and she's now going to find herself effectively in P4 because of the tyre strategy so far. Question as to whether she can recover from that spin or not. Up ahead, though, Sean Bean still leads the way, and this is a great chance for him now to build the gap he needs and try and get that victory. Jigsaw's doing well to make the tyres last day, going up to nearly 10 laps. He's obviously paid quite a few notes to last night's F1 race and wants to do all he can to make these tyres last and avoid the pits.
Interestingly, Fozzie's actually out in clean air because of the fact that Nikita's probably about 3 seconds ahead of him now.
Yeah, Tom 65 is about 3 seconds behind too, so he's got a little bit of clean air for now, but he's got to be careful that he doesn't get those tyres get too cold, and Tom being able to close the gap. Meanwhile, on the outside of the points, we've got a close battle going on. I think it's between 11th and 12th. Yes, it is. We've got Jamie2503 still in the race despite his connection, and XRL Bernie rooting up the field. DRS flap open though. He's doing this for pride. He wants to try and get that Red Bull into some points. Oh, but he's going to get given a gift here because Jamie's just lagged behind him. Well, that was an anticlimax.
It would be if Jamie lags back in front of him again.
Oh, please don't start. That's the last thing we need. In the meantime, Living Dead 69 in P10 after resolve his pit stop comes out behind, I believe that's Tom 625. No, it's Conor Rice in the Williams. And this looks like one of the closer duels on tracks, so we'll stay here for now. Needless to say, once again, we are seeing people going outside the lines here. We did warn all the drivers before it happened. All you guys in GP3, F4 and F5000, pay attention right now. You will get penalties if you go outside the track repeated times. Do not do it. Living Dead 69 now in DRS range of Conor Rice and the Williams, so a great chance for him now to start clawing some positions back. on the fresher rubber as Conor Eyes once again locks up. Oh, but Limited 69 hits the inside bollard at turn 3 there. We don't know how destructive these bollards are, so the best thing you can do is avoid them.
I know from personal experience, if you hit them twice in one lap, either yourself hitting them twice or yourself and another driver, the second driver loses his front wing.
Well, that's a bit crazy. Meanwhile, Conor Eyes and Rybo is ahead of Limited 69 and Rybo is in 8th place. So we've got a 3-car scrap here. We might as well stay on board. It appears to be the closest we've got on track at the moment after all the pit stops. Limited 69, I want to clear these guys quickly. Last thing he wants to do is get stuck behind these guys, being scruffy laps and pushing each other hard. Inter-team battles very important. Next season, of course, we're going to have a 6th division and all pace is still yet to be decided there. So the drivers have got to push hard as Rybo goes outside the track limits at 10. Really gives us a little bit of an advantage there because Conor Eyes wasn't able to close the gap as he should have been. But Conor Eyes certainly looks very racy. He goes too far to the inside of Conor Eyes there, compromises his lap time and also breaks the track limits once again. And meanwhile, Rybo decides he's going to box because a bit too wide there, actually goes outside the lines. That will compromise him. And Limited 69 not wasting any time at all. DRS flat wide open, looking for a rare pass into turn 1. You can do it here. Question is it really worth it because of the DRS zone that follows? He decides it is and goes right around the outside. Conor Eyes has got to get the right line through 3 if he wants to have any chance of taking that position back at turn 4. Locking up his tyres like that certainly won't help him now. And we've already lost connection to MGI1. That's the second person we've lost now. Please do not let this be a trend. We do not want to see a repeat of last night. Conor Eyes with the DRS flat wide open down to 4, but it's just not got the straight line speed on the Red Bull. But living dead once again, living dangerously, clouting those bollards. He's being aggressive as he dares, but he's also got to be very careful he doesn't break his wing. You are on the stream, a lot of you have been really quiet at the moment. What's up with you? Get some comments on there, we want to hear from you. As Nikita now is close right up to, in fact, no, Nikita as XRL Fuzzy. Did Fuzzy get past Nikita?
He did, then I was not on board with it.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he was behind Nikita, but right now he's back in 3rd place. On the stream, with Paragon the 125 checking in. Good evening to you. And Jordan, meanwhile, has asked what's my opinion on the new tracks, Russia and Austria. Well, Austria's not exactly new. It was meant to be getting a configuration which was meant to take it slightly back onto the old Österreich ring. But unfortunately, due to funding issues and government problems in the area, they weren't allowed to extend it. A massive shame. I'd love to see the old Österreich ring final corner come back into F1 because that was absolutely fearsome. As for the Russian Grand Prix, I'll be honest, from what I've seen of it, it looks quite blasé, but we're not really seeing much of it. If you want to see any kind of footage, Sergei Sorokin took the Sauber F1 car on there, one of the old Saubers, but it was more a demo run with donuts. You really didn't get to see too much of how it worked. So I'm going to reserve judgment on the Sochi track until then, really. As Nikita goes wide at turn 5 and 6 and 7. Sorry there, Chris, what did you say?
I said it's going to be interesting with the turbos there, because obviously if you're using the old cars, there's not going to be any comparison compared to the ones that with the new rules this season.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the lack of turbo engines, the different aerodynamical rules, is going to make it tricky to know. It is in the shadow of the Black Sea, of course, and right now it's where the Winter Olympics is being held, so Lord knows how it's going to be affected. But of course, the big question is, the whole incident over the Crimea, is that going to impact the race's future? After all, we did see Bahrain get cancelled at the 11th hour in 2011, so don't be surprised if a similar thing happens to Russia. I'd hope not, because I'd say it's the last thing that F1 needs, really, but at the same time, they also don't need to be used as a political power toy.
And we have 2 cars in the pits. We've got Tom 625 and we also got Nikita in the pits.
Right, interesting. So Nikita only went 12 laps on the prime tyres. That's very high tyre load, that. I'd expect a little longer than that. Jigsaw's with DRS looking to get behind Conor Eyes, but he's just not close enough to make that stick. Meanwhile, up ahead we've got a scrap for, I believe that's 4th and 3rd. Indeed, DRS will be available to Living Dead 69, who's on the back of XRL Rusty, who's really shown survival instinct here to be up to P3. Done a great job so far. DRS swap over from Living Dead 69, but he's not used a lot of his curse, surprisingly. Still got confidence in the car, gets on the brakes nice and late there. Rusty thought about trying to cut back underneath him, but unfortunately he's not able to get close.
Interestingly, Bernie's just spun at turn 3 for the second time this race.
Not a good race for Bernie here in the meantime. Right, interesting. Got a question from the Paragon 125 here, bit of a long one, saying, what do we make of the bookmakers on Mercedes as huge favourites not only to win the Australian Grand Prix, but the Dual Drivers' Championship and World Constructors' Championship before the season has even started? And do we see any other teams being able to mount a serious challenge? Well, I'd say, based off the testing, purely from mileage and from the amount of data they've got, they're certainly in the pound seats. But I wouldn't be surprised if Red Bull can solve their aerodynamic package to overcome the heating issues if they're able to mount a charge. I don't think you can write off McLaren, as they looked in great shape and held back on some aerodynamic upgrades. Force India have looked the surprise package, as of Williams, and Ferrari with 2 world champions, anything's possible. Of course, if you do want a full rundown of my opinions, earlier on today, along with SmittyLad56, I did a 1-hour podcast on my own Twitch channel, SS Wishbone, about the testing and what we're expecting in Australia. So if you want more information on that, go check it out after the race is over.
Interestingly, Jamie is lagging to new heights. It is just amazing.
Oh, look, Jigsaw's got the DRS on Connor Eyes and is easily going to blast past. Now, in the meantime, Nikita will probably have the same advantage. I think she's thinking of repeating the same move down into turn 4, coming from a long way back, but realises a little late. She's just not got the speed and backs out this time. But Connor Eyes under big pressure here in P6. Nikita's all over the back of his gearbox, and ahead of him, Jigsaw's going to start to try and pull away. On the stream, Jordan saying that Mercedes engines is just too good. Well, again, we've not seen the worst of the line. Don't forget this season they're only allowed 5 engines rather than 8. So anything could happen with regards to mileage and limited testing. And MJI1 commiseration says he lagged out of the race. We saw that and we're deeply, deeply sorry for you. Nikita Mior figure out a move at the inside of turn 11, backs out of that, realises there's no way through there, and then goes off on the run-off once again.
Interestingly about Motorsport Nerd's comments about the undercut race, Fozzie came in a couple of laps before Sean Bean due to the tyres starting and that, and he's now got about a 6-second lead over Sean.
That is really interesting, so that shows how powerful it can be. Of course, the tyre one. Meanwhile, Nikita, DRS assisted pass into turn 1. Excellent move there. And right now, DRS is going to be a big problem for Nikita now, because Connor Eyes is going to have it back on her down towards turn 4. Gets a cleanish exit, but Nikita's traction out of that corner is very much like Nico Hulkenberg's out of turn 2 at Korea, just able to launch herself further on. Look at that! Also, Connor Eyes surprisingly not dipping into the toe, despite the fact that Nikita moved earlier. Really don't know why he did that. Rather defensive driving there from him, and that's now got Nikita free to pressurise Jigsaws. On the stream, meanwhile, Paragon saying Bet365 is Alonso 7-1 to win the Australian Champion Grand Prix, but Kimi in the same car is 14-1. Can I explain that logic? No, I can't. Kimi Räikkönen won last year's Australian Grand Prix after all, in a Lotus. So, if there's anyone who's got recent form at Australia, it's him. I'm guessing it's purely a case of the fact that Alonso's been driving for Ferrari for such a period of time, he might have the team welded round him. However, I reckon Räikkönen, having been welcomed back in the cold, is going to be a much more potent force for them. Also, 07 Ryan is saying opinions on exceeding the track limits. Looks like an advantage is gained. GP2 division does this much less, so shouldn't F1 be setting the standards and not GP2? Well, from where I'm standing, Ryan, I've seen a lot of it on GP2 as well. Both divisions are equally guilty, but I do agree the F1 drivers are meant to be the best in the league, and I would expect better driving from them. Nikita Mior backs out of the DRS assisted pass on Jigsaw's, fancying her chances down into turn 4. The last thing Jigsaw's needs is a fast challenging Ferrari up his trumpet.
Yeah, I know from Jigsaw's experience, he can definitely defend to save his life.
Well, Kerr's being deployed by Nikita using that superior traction beautifully. Gets on the DRS and it's going to get a chance to blast right past here as Rival 95 has decided to retire from the race. Can you please get him in there for his comments? And Nikita just breezes by. No real resistance from Jigsaw's. In fact, Jigsaw's goes off the track. Meanwhile, behind them, we've got Tom625 who's just blasted past Connorized on the fresher tyres. So Connorized going back through the field now. On the street, Mr. Deeds is saying, must make a change for Jigsaw's to have to fight for position. Yeah, I'm sure it does. He's really having to do fight harder tonight. All the GP2 drivers have done well. Ribo, we saw you retire all of a sudden. What was the reason for that, mate?
I don't know what corner it was, and Jamie overtook me, and he was lagging in front of me, really bad. And I was going around corner and he just stopped on track, well, a corner which he shouldn't really brake for, and I went straight into the back of him, lost all my wing, got a puncture, and I didn't think I'd get any points from there.
Well, it seems a bit unfortunate that you were caught out by that then. Obviously, I mean, you did show that you had quite a bit of pace, at least running in the midfield. Moving further on to Yad Marine at Abu Dhabi, do you reckon that's a race where you might have a chance to steal in a few more points?
I think so. It's kind of a track I like that. It's one of my favourites, so hopefully I'll get some points.
Okay, well, big commiserations to you there. Thank you for your comments and your time. Well, a comment from on the stream, MJI1 asking what the top three are, so I'll give you the rundown. XRL Fozzie is in the lead at the moment. Sean B22 right behind him. Look at that, only 2 100ths of a second in terms of the fastest lap time between those two. And then in third place, you've got the Living Dead 69 in the Red Bull, who started to free himself up a bit. Rusty in fourth place, Nikita in fifth, Jigsaw's in sixth, Tom65 seventh, Connorized eighth, XRL Bird in ninth, and then Jamie 2503 rounding off the top 10 runners.
Interesting that Nikita's actually got the fastest lap of the race.
Well, it just shows what can happen when you get some fresher tyres on and you're in cleaner air. She has had to do a few fights, but generally been able to blast past, so great opportunity for her, definitely. Meanwhile, XRL Rusty, speaking of Nikita, speaking of Devil, they will appear, is right behind Rusty all of a sudden. So Nikita looking to charge down fourth place, definitely showing she's got the ultimate pace, but that corner spin on the second lap has really ruined the race. And to help, very hopefully, XRL Rusty dives into the pits. That's very gentlemanly of him.
13 laps on them prime tyres is not particularly long.
No, it's not, is it? And ahead of him now, he's already down in P7. Tom625 goes through in the Sauber, chasing down Isle of Jigsaw's in the Mercedes. He is on the option tyres here, Tom625, so he's definitely got the pace advantage. Question is, how much tyre life has he got in there? On the stream, meanwhile, Jordan Kelly once again saying good racing again. Yeah, it seems to quieten down a bit much. There's been less corner cutting in this race. Oh, meanwhile, MJI1's rejoined the race. MJI, why are you back? Under the rules, if you're out, you have to leave. So please do that if you can. Tom625, meanwhile, is behind him. Is very close now to Isle of Jigsaw's. Then the Mercedes out towards turn 5. Jigsaw's gets a little wide, loses a bit of confidence at turn 5, but then recovers it beautifully. Oh, and then both drivers go through the chicane at turn 7. Neither one of them making that corner at all. And once again, Jigsaw's going right round at turn 9, not even getting close to the track limits there. That's pretty shocking, to be honest. Tom625 trying to get as close as he can to the back of Jigsaw's and the Mercedes here. The Sauber Power car certainly showing it's got good pace in Tom's hands. On the option tyres, he does need to try and get free from this Mercedes, getting some clean air and get some quick laps in. But he's got a DRS flat down towards turn 1, gets in the slip and then gets out of the DRS. Interesting, obviously doesn't want to get too close here, doesn't want to get turbulent air or damage his tyres. Intelligent driving for Tom625, using the DRS to get close, and now he's probably going to use it to blast past. Great traction for Tom625 coming off the corner there on the Sauber, and he's using the curves to get as close as he can to the back of Jigsaw's. Try and make this as easy as possible. Flat wide open on DRS. Pulls to the inside, looking on the outside. Jigsaw's tries to defend, just not got the grip, but Jigsaw's tries to fight back with late braking, turns in. Little bit of contact there, but Jigsaw's holds it on the outside. Well, That's a ballsy, brazen move, but great job from Jigsaws to hold that one off. You lost your voice or something, Chris?
No, I'm just on board with Jigsaw's just watching, see what he's doing.
Interesting. We've got a couple of questions from Paragon and 125 on the stream saying, do we think that Nico Rosberg can be and Hamilton can be as successful as Moss and Fangio was for Mercedes in 55? And also, what do I make of Fangio's drive during the 55 Belgian Grand Prix? Wow, that's winding the clock back. First of all, can they be as successful? No reason not to. The car certainly looks pretty powerful. Last season, both drivers showed they were pretty much equal in terms of pace. As Tom 625 dives to the box, decides he wants the clean air rather than continuing to fight Isle of Jigsaw's. Intelligent driving there from Tom. They've definitely got the car under them, no doubt about it, from early pre-season testing. Of course, but neither driver will want to be the Sterling Moss in that scenario, because both drivers will obviously want to be the champion. As for Fangio's drive during the 55 Belgian Grand Prix, it's really difficult to comment on those older races, purely because of the nature of the cars. It takes so much talent to be able to drive those old bathtubs the way they did. And they got absolutely serious cojones on them, those guys.
Yeah, I also noticed that last season the Mercedes had better one-lap pace than most other cars. I think it was...
Jamie2503 has just lagged ahead of Tom. Sorry, carry on your point now.
Yeah, it got like 4 pole positions within like the first 5 races, which no other team had done up to that point until Sebastian Vettel decided to dominate the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, last season will obviously be deemed a tyre farce, because as soon as the FIA intervened and allowed Pirelli to change the tyre construction, Red Bull gained all the advantage. This season, I do not believe that Pirelli should be allowed to change the tyres construction at all. They've been made them a little more durable, they're a little more weight in them, leave them alone. That's my opinion there. They should not be allowed to change the tyres. No one should be given an extra advantage or disadvantage by the tyre rules changing halfway through the season. That, for me, ruined last season. And I do not care if Vettel equalled the great record of Alberto Ascari for the most wins on the bounce. I don't care. It was given to him on a silver platter.
Silver platter with 4 tyres.
Pretty much. How would you like them, soft or medium? In the meantime, DRS Flam 102 for Jamie2503. But I actually have no idea where he is on track, so he keeps lagging pretty badly. Going ahead and then behind his teammate, then in front of his wing and then behind his wing. It makes life very, very difficult here. And Jamie2503, just assuming that's where he is on track at the moment. Living Dead 69 goes way, way, way wide at turn 3. Totally gets that wrong. Jamie goes immediately through. And now Tom 625 in the Sauber's going to have a cracking chance to get a run on the back of him. DRS flat not open for Tom 625 though. Now, unless he's got a problem, that's the last thing he needs. But he's still hitting 200 miles an hour without the DRS. So Tom 625 has got a very, very quick car under him there. Heading on towards turn 5. Living Dead 69 being able to get a bit out of shape in turn 4 there. Might compromise his line. Getting on the inside, gets on the tyres nice and smooth on the apexes though. Does a great job. Tom 65 has a better run through that chicane though. Into 8 and 9. Tom 65 drifting a little wide but corrects it back for the line. Good driving into this tricky turn 10 horseshoe. Both drivers running out of grip on the outside as it falls away from you. And then into 11, to head, Living Dead 69 gets a little shaky. Into 12, just about keeps it on the island, kicks up a bit of dust there. But Tom 65 brakes there to avoid going off the track. That is how you drive when you're making a mistake, people. If you know you're going to go off the track, slow yourself down. Very good driving from Tom there. As Living Dead 69 dives into the box. On the stream, people are saying, well said and agreed. I assume that's due to my comments about Sebastian Vettel's second half of the season last season. If not, elaborate further. Son 65 staring at the back of his teammate once again. It's the last person he really wants to see because of all the lag he's experienced. It's been difficult to race someone in those conditions. Connor Ives down in P9. XRL Bernie in P10 is way, way, way behind these guys. XRL Fozzie's got a big lead now over Sean Bean, who's just started lagging. I think he's got a 5-second lag just as I've got on board of him. That's bad luck for you. In P3 is Nikita, and she's got a pretty big gap as well over, I believe, all of Jigsaw's. Yes. So it's all spread out all of a sudden something in GP2, and now all the pit stops have come into play. All the guys there. Living at 69 though, running in P5. He's got a good position here now, because he's going to be able to get himself in a very, very good control of his tyres. I don't know how well they last.
Interesting, Fozzie's now gone into the pits on lap 22.
When did he last stop?
Something like lap 10.
So yeah, so the tyre that lasted very well here at all. We saw Lewis Hamilton last night in the F1 division really make those tyres work and kept them going for about, I think it was as much as 20 laps at one point before he was unfortunate to get that lag out, which I was also caught up in. So the tyres can definitely last if you get the setup right, but all the drivers in GP2 have pursued pace rather than race here, which is an interesting approach. The curves available from doing their 69, it's going to definitely have the DRS on Jigsaw's, but we saw against Tom 625 just how much Jigsaw's loves to have a scrap here. Let's see if Jigsaw's going to be able to hang on, going around the outside, but Living the 69 intelligently moves to the middle of the track, blocking the cutback line, and that is how you get the job done. Beautiful. On the stream, Mr. Deeds is asking if the F1 2014 on the Xbox One is a full grid instead of 16 players, will the divisions expand? Well, it depends on whether the next F1 game is going to be next generation only. If it is, I don't really care because I'm not planning to upgrade. I'd assume that they want to try and get grids as full as possible, but that's not something that's been discussed to my knowledge.
As far as I've seen from what has happened on what I've typed in on Google and that, it does look like the Formula 1 2014 is going to be next gen only.
It's also very foolish because it's a limited appeal game at the moment. Getting out to as many platforms as possible is what you need to maximise your revenue. Or at least that's what I think.
At the end of the day, it is Codemasters.
True. Jamie2503 is now behind his teammate Tom625. As I say, if you are watching on the stream, please keep your comments coming, and we'll do our best to be able to get through them as quickly as we can here. Unfortunately, the pack has spread out now due to all the pit stops and the moves that have happened on the track, so it's difficult to know exactly where everybody is. Curiously, I've got 0 viewers showing on my software at the moment. Where have you all gone? Sean B's been into the pits. He's now on the option tyres behind his teammate Nikita, who goes so far wide at turn 9 that I've not seen anyone go that wide before. He's had to go into the grass. Now, Sean B's not too far behind her on fresh option tyres, so I expect him to overhaul and get a pit stop advantage on her. She just shows what a big difference that spin made, but she is also catching up to Fozzie, who after the pit stop is not too far ahead now. Can she do Sean, her teammate, a favour, get ahead of him and hold him up?
All I can say is, Jamie, whatever setup you're running, you have remained on the same tyres from lap 1 to lap 24. Well done to you.
Wow, so he's not yet pit stopped?
He has not yet made a pit stop.
That is extraordinary. It really shows what you can do. My Spanish Game is saying on his thing it says 12. I'm not actually using the website of you. I'm actually using the streaming software, and it sometimes glitches in and out. So we'll see what happens. Meantime, Jordan Coe's asking an interesting question. He's asking, what do we think of pit stop strategies in this race, and what will happen in Australia? Well, in this race we've seen an absolute massive chasm of strategies. We've got the aforementioned Jamie there, who's kept going on one, not in a single stop, for nearly half the race distance. We had Lewis Hamilton last night doing a masterful plan towards a potential free stop before he lagged out, and then we also saw Ice Cold Andy totally on the attack for a potential 5 stop. It just really goes to show that you need to react to the tyres and your style of driving. If you're someone who can keep the pace going, like an Alan Prost, like a Jackie Stewart, like a Jenson Button, trying to get the tyres like that and keeping them last might work in your favour. Whereas if you're someone like Senna, someone like Maldonado, someone like Ice Cold Andy, who really goes out on the attack, then you want to go for the more extreme strategy. Meanwhile, also on the stream, Latin Cabal is also saying they're watching, so good evening to you. And we've lost connection to MJ1 again. Why he was even here in the first place, I don't know. But either way, he's gone.
Yeah, I have got it down that he was in the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the things are for that one. I'm pretty sure it's against the rules, so he may have incurred the wrath of the stewards there. We shall see. Meanwhile, I'm trying to find a scrap on track at the moment because it seems that the field has started to spread out. In the meantime, Jordan's saying, what do we think of the pit stop strategy that will come into play at Australia? Well, to be honest, it's almost impossible to say because one of the things that was made clear from the actual pre-season testing was that the tyres now, being more durable, have got less grip, and with the amount of torque that the engines generate, some of the drivers actually reported pretty much doing number 11s on the track and leaving black marks. So the chances are that we're going to see quite extreme pit stops. Pirelli have said they expect between 2 and 3 due to the compound data they've got. But again, they are experimental tyres. All we know is that with the higher torque engines, anything's possible. So I really don't know. Meanwhile, Rice Paddy Gaming saying never compare Maldonado to Senna ever again. I wasn't on about his talent, I was on about finding his all-out attack and really pushes his tyres to the limit. And I wanted to get as cross-generational gap as possible, really. Well, fair enough, point taken. Meantime, Sean B22 is getting close to the back of Nikita, really caught onto his teammate now thanks to these fresh option tyres here. Nikita's definitely going to be losing time on him. Different strategies from the Ferraris, of course, whether it's caused by the spin or not, it's another matter. But needless to say, Sean's got a great chance to overhaul now. DRS flap open, heading down towards turn 1. He sets a best lap time of 1:28.0. That's pretty damn quick here. Down towards turn 1, just a bit out of space at the moment at the time, but he's going to definitely have the DRS flap open down towards turn 4.
I think the Rice Paddy Gaming may be Smithy Lad 56 in disguise with the hate towards Maldonado.
Yeah, it's actually the first time I've seen anyone show such hatred to Maldonado. Though to be fair, it was a pretty dumb commentator's comment. Now, show me 22, DRS flap open, curves deployed completely, blast past Nikita, but the question is, can Nikita do under braking into turn 4? We've seen that before here, but she's backed out. No, she's not got the distance, and Sean will be very relieved to see that sexta Ferrari out of his way, for now.
Interesting sandbagging performance from Sean Bean last night after retiring after 4 laps. He's actually made it to 27 today and still racing with reasonable pace.
Now, has Jamie yet been into the pits? Because we're on lap 27 now, and he's still on the prime tyres.
On my screen, it says Jamie 2503 Sauber Racing 0 pit stops, prime tyres.
So, Jamie now, if that data's correct, has done nearly a half race distance on one set of tyres. Surely it's time to box now. If he boxes, gets another set of primes, he'll be in a position to 2-stop. It's going to be impossible, unless he's trying to do a Paul di Resta at Canada and do something like 45 laps on a set. But I'd be very surprised if we can make him last that long.
Interesting, because Nikita, who's in third, has only done 1 pit stop according to the stats.
Yeah, that's about the same path that ex-Lewis Hamilton had last night before he lagged out. So definitely favouring the more tortoise approach of getting the longer tyres and getting the pace out of them over a stint rather than using the quick turn and burn that you can on the option tyres. Unfortunately, we do have drivers pretty spread out here now, viewers, so I'm afraid to say I can't really say much else about this race. Tomorrow night is GP3. It looks like it's not going to be streamed. That's because I only do 2 F1 races a week and Dan is not available. But if you do want to see some racing action, there's a chance that me and Smitty Lad and all that will be active on the Forza Racing Tales from the Cockpit tomorrow night. That'll be a later stream, though, about 10 o'clock. In the meantime, on Wednesday evening, we've got F4 and F5000. I'm not sure which race is live. I think it's F5000, and then it goes to F4 for the rest of the season, but don't quote me on that.
It's going to be an interesting race. Obviously, I'm racing tomorrow in GP3 in the Ferrari, and I race again in the 50% for the F4.
Well, it's always good to get the extra recon. That's the way you can use that. You can almost use it as a test session. That's what I reckon has made Sean Bean so deadly. When he's done these sub-driving for the F1 division, he's really been able to get the pace on his car when he's needed it. So that's been really, really good. Meanwhile, in the pits, I believe that's Nikita who's finally dived in. Yeah, she's dived in for her second stop on the prime tyres on lap 29. So that's about 15 laps per pair. That's pretty strong. But she's going to be compromised here because to make the free stop work, she'll really need to push to get about 20 laps out of these tyres so you can push on for the options on the final stint. Jordan, meanwhile, is asking, on time trial, did a 125.4 in India, what do we think? Well, the pace here shows that if you want to be on the lead of the F1 division, you want to be in the flat 24s, and that's in online equal mode. As for the lower divisions, not a bad time, but I do think you'll need to find a few more tenths if you want to be winning the races.
Interestingly, breaking news, Jamie2503 has made pit stop number 1 on lap 29.
Yeah, he's got to... Oh, meanwhile, Living Dead 69 stopped on track. He stopped on track at turn 6. I wonder if his controller's disconnected. He's been passed, and he's just got back going. He was very close to getting disqualified there. Living Dead 69 has just lost a complete torrent of time. He'd stopped right in the DRS zone, so Jigsaw's has gone past him for P6, and also Tom625 for P5. Absolute disaster for the Red Bull driver. He showed a lot of pace, and that's the last thing he needed.
That's why I always race on a wired controller. Don't get that problem at all.
Or do what I do. Always have a plug and charge kit available, and if you need to charge it in, click. Rice Paddy Gaming asking what division. I'm guessing he's talking to Jordan rather than me, because he knows that I don't race. I'm retired. As for you, you're in F4, aren't you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm in F4. My time trial pace is actually pretty poor. Online, I've done a 125 dead. On time trial, I did a 124.9.
Man, it just goes to show how things are going there. Also, there are a lot of drivers out there, Jordan appears to be one of them, who are not yet in a division, but our social races are still happening, so please keep taking part if you are there. We are expanding the division, there's plenty of drivers who've tabled their interest, and we want to keep you here. We want to be able to show you all on the grid and give you coverage of the races like this. Hopefully next season there will be no gaps in the coverage as well. We've got a few more streamers hopefully coming available. It's unfortunate that one of our other streamers has become unavailable due to a personal family issue, but we do have a few more streamers that are going to be unlocked next term, so we should have a lot more racing action for all of you throughout the week.
Yeah, I know Jordan's been doing a lot of practice with Sean Bean recently. I think that's why he's a bit of a Sean Bean fan for the race. Yeah, he's been actually doing pretty reasonable times around New Delhi, so happy days. And
well, XRL Bernie, it's good to see us bigging up the newer drivers. Connor Arston P8 is now under attack from XRL Bernie. Not much between these two now, only a couple of seconds, so we'll ride on board here because it's been a bit of an archetype of his own misfucked downfalls in this race, Bernie, who once again goes wide at turn 10. Stay in the lines. How many times do I have to say it?
Turn 10 and lines do not go well, as quoted with Forza 4 when you just get sticky.
Yeah, I mean, this game does have some sticky grass, but it's always in really random locations. And for me, I'm sorry, but that's not the solution. For me, it's making sure that the penalties are consistent for every track. That's how you do it.
With Living Dead, he's just smashed into the barrier on the...
Oh, he's just rolled the wrong way into the pit lane. On mine.
Mine, he's just smashed into the wall at turn 1, I think it is.
Yeah, he was driving the wrong way, though.
Oh, he's now reversed. He's in the pit lane.
XRL Bernie DRS flat definitely going to be available on cornerised here, but there's yellow flags. Now, is the game going to give him a penalty for an illegal overtake there? I really hope not. He's got past the DRS and he's easily going to make him stick it to turn 4, but the yellow flags were out. It's not going to be a penalty.
Yeah, I think Living Dead's going to retire. He's got a puncher, no front wing. I think his controller's just dying.
In the meantime, NMR Mr. Indigo is on the stream. Good evening to you. He's saying that in the early stages of India, the primes are on a par with the options. How very interesting. So if you're racing in the lower divisions, that's a potential winning strategy for one of our F1 drivers there. Pardon me, not usually like gas out on air, but sometimes better out than in. And in the meantime, Pirates Predict Game is also saying he was good, but he's now struggling and hopes to do better in his F4 season, currently in 8th. Well, there's still time yet, there's a few more races, so plenty of time to get a few podiums out. You might find yourself well clear of the relegation zone.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Well, Living Dead's just gone massively wide at turn 5.
Well, I've just seen Conor Rice going into the pits. Jamie 2503 in a car that's bucking and bobbing around like an old British Leyland car when you're trying to start it. But he's managed to go past into P9. PA, yeah, Living Dead 69's just gone really wide at turn 9, and is now going extremely slowly in turn 10. I think we're going to see a point where he decides to get out here. But then again, if you've got a puncher and you've got a wing, you try going through there at high speed. He's luckily not near anybody, so I don't think he's going to compromise anyone. He's gone through the chicane. Lucky he didn't get disqualified there. The game can sometimes do it. Oh no! He's actually got a car coming right up behind him. I think that might be Sean Bean. No, it's not.
He's been lapped a few times, so it doesn't surprise me. Hope that the other car.
Yeah, I think it's Sean and the Ferrari, but he's gone through the gravel, going into the pits now, Living Dead 69, but has made it back. So let's ride on board, see if he retires or if he's going to actually go into the pits and actually do his stop. No, he's just retired. Well, let's try and get him in here so we can find out what happened. I do believe it's going to be down to controller.
Because obviously I put him as my outside the box for winning this.
Well, we immediately lost connection to him. That's assuming he can even come into the race. Isle of Jigsaws now is closing up onto the back of Tom 625, I believe, who's currently running in P5 for Sauber. But once again, Tom 625, Mr. Consistency for these higher end of the points, but not really on the podium. Consistent driving, which is what you really need if you want to get towards the front. He's not going to have DRS for Jigsaws, but he is closing on the back of that Sauber. Fastest lap time of 1:29.2 from Jigsaws, so he's a bit off the pace of the leaders. Into turn 4, Jigsaw's taking a nice tight line there, pushing the apex curve beautifully. And that Sauber's definitely reining in and getting closer and closer. So he's got a great chance here to be able to get around that Sauber and get himself back towards the front of the grid, Jigsaws. Shows he's got the pace, but he's just lacking that killer spark here in New Delhi.
XRL Bernie's just come out of the pit lane. He's now gone on to option tyres on lap 33.
On the stream, LGS469 is saying that XRL Fozzy for F1. Well, it certainly showed the pace, so I don't really know how. Of course, the pace for these divisions, while the championships are obviously still going to matter, we've got the test sessions coming up where pace is going to be decided between all divisions for where everybody should be. So it'll be interesting to see how much that reshuffles the pack a bit. DRS flap now open from Jigsaw's coming off the final corner, getting close to the back of Tom 625. Well, that Sauber seems to have great straight line speed, and Jigsaw's is nowhere near him going into turn 1, but takes a nice line, just a little too wide of the white line for my liking though there. All 4 tyres over it, that's outside the track limits. Into turn 3, barrels up the inside, pushes Tom a little wide there, a bit of a wheel brush, but has got past before DRS. Now Tom 625 has saved quite a lot of his curves. Is he going to retire here with straight line speed? Retaliate, not retire, retaliate even. Just not close enough to affect the pass, so Living Dead 69 is through. Good driving. Into turn 5, and we got Isle of Jigsaw's getting close to the outside apexes, goes across the inside of turn 7 once again. It's so easy to abuse that corner, but yet he's managing to avoid abusing the much easier to abuse turn 9. It's very strange. If you think we're not spotting you, Jigsaw, think again.
It's good pace from Nikita in second place at the minute. She's done the fastest lap of the race with a 1:27.5, and crucially she's still ahead of her teammates from being made an extra pit stop.
Well, that's a surprise. I'm really surprised Nikita's got that pace. Meanwhile, I believe that's XRL Rusty who's dived into the box now for another pit stop, and he's actually been followed by Tom 625. So they're obviously going. There's been quite a lot of pit stops so far. You are quite right. Sean Bean's actually dropped away from Nikita. According to LGS, he believes that no one will be getting relegated from F1 and you need more drivers from GP2. I can kind of see his point, because last night we did have quite a few drivers missing, and it was even less of them at the end of the race, of course, when everyone lacked out. Oh, Nikita went through the chicane of 6 and 7 there, into 8 and 9, once again taking too much of the inside curve. Really pushing the outside of these track limits, and the last thing I want to be saying is this, but it seems to me that their pace might be down to not staying in the rules. Yeah, but that's 3 times as senior now on this lap alone from Nikita. The last thing we want to be doing is giving an entire division penalties for not sticking to the track limits. It's just unacceptable. In my opinion, if everyone's cutting the corners at every corner, everyone should be disqualified and 0 points awarded. I'll teach you a lesson.
Definitely will teach you a lesson, and Sean's just done a 127.8.
Good pace from Sean there. Jigsaw, meanwhile, in 4th place, is totally on his own on the prime tyres. Nowhere near that pace at the moment, absolutely nowhere near it. Going around the final corner, this is going to be in the 30s. Yeah, a 130.4. So that's nearly 3 seconds slower than Sean Bean on 1 lap.
Interestingly, XRL Bernie's done a 128.0, which is, I think, the 3rd quickest lap time of the race, but he's on option 10 last.
Well, it just shows that if you keep getting so caught up in incidents and keep spinning off the track, it doesn't matter how quick you are over 1 lap. And they've always said that it's a marathon and not a race, and this proves it. Meanwhile, on the track, our closest duel is Tom 625 and XRL Rusty, P5 and P6, but even that's not much of a gap at the moment, about 3 or 4 seconds between these 2 drivers. So if you are watching on the stream, keep your questions coming in, we'll do what we can to get through them, both about racing on the game and also about real life F1. Also, in case a few of you don't realise or aren't aware, in 2 weeks' time, I believe, 2 weeks on Thursday, we're looking to start a new Forza 4 league, a DTM league. If you're interested in doing a bit of racing on Forza 4 in a bit of a different environment, go on the Forza 4.5 forum on the main website and you can sign up there, read the rules, and if you're interested, send me a message on there, send me a message to Xbox Live, tweet me, just get hold of me basically. Also, Lee, can you do us a favour and confirm which race is going to be this week's Classics? I believe it's Malaysia, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, it is in Malaysia.
Nice one. There you go, Lee, you don't need to do any work. Put your feet up, get a cup of tea. Well, Tom 65 that's just starting to fall away from XRL Rusty, despite pitting at the same time. So Rusty's really showing his pace now all of a sudden, and he's at 28.3, which is pretty impressive considering he's on the prime tyres. And Tom is actually on the options, so that surprises me. I'd expect Tom to be catching him quite quickly, being on the option tyres. Well, while I've got a brief lull in the action, I just need to very, very quickly go and switch my heating off, so we're back in a second.
Okey-dokey. Yeah, there's not really many battles at the minute. The closest battle on track is the battle between 2nd and 3rd, which is Sean Bean and Nikita, both in the Ferraris. Currently, Nikita's actually beating her teammate Sean. She's actually done 1 less pit stop, so it's all to play for them. Obviously, if she can keep that, then that's very good driving from her. She's also got the fastest lap time of the race. As I say, that Fozzie's just done a 127.4 on the prime tyres. Jigsaw's is again locking up quite heavily down into P3. He's running a very lonely race. Hopefully he does the same thing in the floor and hopefully grid.
Right, and I'm back. Decided to get myself a bottle of ginger beer as well.
Very nice. I was just saying, Jigsaw's is running a very lonely race. Hopefully he can do it in F4, but at the back of the grid.
Oh, love the rivalry here between the drivers. If you got in the lower divisions, keep your rivalry going. Meantime, Crazy Fish suggesting that Fozzie, Sean Bean and the Living Dead go from GP2 to F1, to which Leo's responded by saying he's going to be the division head for F1 next season and will be using the 3rd driver system to ensure we get full grids. And then Fozzie goes to saying, I keep getting bloody adverts. That's Twitch for you. I can't say any more than that, my friend. Sorry about that.
Crazy Fish got a very interesting driver lineup for GP2 to go to F1.
I just commented on that.
Yeah, I'll personally probably say Fearless, Sean Bean and Tom 65.
Palm it. In the meantime, Lee is saying that the next race for Classics is Malaysia, but he doesn't race in Classics anymore because he doesn't have the time. I am aware that your time's obviously at a premium because you've had to step down from commentating with me here on GP2. It's good that you're able to keep watching the races when you can, though, so do your best, and hopefully we'll look forward to seeing you next season racing in the F1 division. Going back to the front of the grid, Nikita is still kept the gap to Sean Bean, and Sean is now on the prime tyres. Now, Nikita's not run the options as yet, to my knowledge, so she's going to need to push these for at least another 10 laps here, or risk doing 2 stops. So it's going to be tricky to see who's got the advantage. Sean Bean will probably have to stop one more time, and if he keeps cutting the chicane like that, he's going to get a penalty, which will hand the initiative back to her. But look at the gap now, it's closed a little bit, but it's still not enough to take second place away. And at the moment, XRL Fozzie is just making most of this and we're an absolutely peerless race on front.
Very dominant race bus. I expect that he's been practicing with Roberts, who I think was 3rd place last night.
Yeah, he did, yeah. XRL Boats did really well to be one of the few to survive. It was one of those races where it was a case of like fall over the line and hope for the best.
A bit like the GP2 race last week in Suzuka, when you had
exactly. Well, Sean Bean's not yet in the DRS reach. He's still about 2 seconds behind his teammate. We're right on board here. These guys appear to be the closest on track. I keep using guys, even though one of them's a girl. It's just my useless way of commentating. So, either way, they're all getting as close as each other as possible, so it's going to be interesting to see where it's going. Meanwhile, Lee is saying be strict on penalties. Believe me, I will be strict on penalties. The problem is that, like in the F1 division, every driver seems to be doing it. So, it's like, yeah, we can be strict, but we have to be strict in an equal way, so it's going to be tricky for us to decide what's going on. As I say, personally, I've disqualified a lot of them and saying you're not getting any points, and the race is not allowed to be rerun. There's black flagged the entire field. That's what I'd do. I mean, all your comments on the stream, what would you guys do? If you keep seeing this level of corner cutting all the time?
Interestingly, there's another battle slowly starting to develop, and it's for P5 between Rusty and Tom 625. Obviously, Tom 625 is on the options, Rusty's on the prime, but the gap is around about 3 seconds, and it's been like that for the last few laps, and it's slowly starting to decrease as highway gets more.
Speaking of tyre wear, Nikita's gap has really fallen down now. She's actually in the DRS zone, so Sean Bean's going to be lining up a chance here. But the traction off turn 3 that she gets is just immense. I don't know where she gets the grip from there, but she just rockets out of that corner. And now she's kind of like weaving on the straight, evidently running very aggressive camber and toe lines here. But Sean Bean's not intimidated, dives on the inside of Bubbly, touch tyres, and Nikita goes off the track. Sean Bean wisely lets the back through to ensure that he's not going to be able to get an advantage and crucially a penalty. Good driving.
However, he might have got an in-game penalty for the
Doubt it. The corner contact at that level, and there's been no spin, so I'll be surprised. Don't rule it out though. Jordan, meanwhile, is saying be stricter because it gets annoying. Well, it does get annoying, I agree with you. It's really irritating to see drivers like getting. I mean, I believe that if you push really aggressively and cut, you'll probably get 1 to 1.5 seconds easily over the course of a race. And Nikita's breaking away from Sean because of it. It's getting irritating to watch. And then Sean does it behind her as well. It's like, how can we call this great driving if people aren't sticking to the most fundamental rule of driving? Well, I've just received a message from SmithyLad56, so I'm very quickly going to try and open this. He's just saying penalty on the whole group while blowing his whistle. It certainly seems like it. But Sean B22 now is in a great position. He's got right close to the back of Nikita. Being with the advanced traction that she's getting off that corner, it's not going to be enough here. Curse is being deployed, and at the DRS line, he's side by side, flat wide open here. Great chance to pull away. Nikita's got great speed though. Can she fight back? Using braking, goes to the inside of the corner at turn 4. Sean B22 holds the high ground, goes into the middle of the track, and Nikita filters into 3rd place.
say, apart from the corner cutting, this race has been fairly clean.
And that's what makes it annoying. That's what makes it really annoying. Like Jordan said on the stream quite a few times, good racing, great racing, good racing, as good as F1. And it's ruined by that. I mean, look at that there. How much extra speed did Nikita just carry through that corner because of that?
I wouldn't know, I wasn't on board.
Well, she literally, like, clipped the inside chicane, went totally off the track on the outside. Meanwhile, Lee's reckoning that if this corner cutting continues for all divisions, India should not be used next season. No, it should be used next season, but what should happen is if you're doing this level of corner cutting, you will be disqualified and you'll automatically get 3 points on your XRL licence. In other words, you will get a grid drop at the second race. And if the entire field do it, then everyone gets 3 points, which is carried over. And the points don't go away. We've got to do something to stomp it out, because it's just not good enough. Lee's also petitioning against Hungary due to the fact that ghost cars still exist on that track. It does make me wonder. Yeah, I mean, it's like, the Codemasters, of course, are running this League of Leagues thing. They really need to sort this out. And then Mr. Indigo is saying that grip for India is non-existent. Well, maybe grip's low, but grip's low at Hungary, grip's low at Monaco, grip's low at Singapore. Doesn't mean you can cheat.
I have to admit, in the middle sector is extremely hard.
So?
Corner cutting is extremely strict around turn 6. I know from practicing. It's so bad because even though you're not corner cutting, because you have 2 wheels on track, it gives you corner cutting. It gives you a penalty when you corner cut, which is great because obviously that's what you expect. But obviously, even without corner cutting, they're getting penalties for corner cutting.
Well, I've not seen anyone get any penalties for it in this race, and I've seen people go off through turn 6 all the bloody time. As Nikita gets completely out of shape, goes onto the marbles at turn 3, and that releases her teammate. She's obviously right at the end of the tyre line, but can't afford to go into the pits for any options now, because the grip just isn't going to be there over the stint. Jigsaw's behind, meanwhile, boxes from P5. So he's now going to be passed once more. Yeah, right through goes both XRL Rusty and Tom 625. I mean, it's like, put it this way. If on Forza 4, I can go through the corkscrew at Laguna Seca in a right-hand drive car in cockpit view, there's no reason why people can't go through the sticking lines here on the Formula 1 game. So Tom 65, we're sticking on board with him at the moment. It's the closest duel on track as we head towards the final part of this race now. It's been a long one, but it's been very entertaining, lots of interesting duels, and also, well, once again, the ugly head of corner cutting has reared itself. Once again, going off on the inside there, Tom 625, but then gets out of the gas at turn 9 to stay within the rules. That's okay to me. Better than most of the drivers I've seen so far.
Conrad and XRL Bernie have both made pit stops on lap 43. Bernie's back on the side.
Being on the prime tyres is very important to get the tyre life towards the end. And Tom 625 boxes. Now, if he doesn't go for prime tyres here, he's going to really screw himself over. Let's ride on board in the pit lane to find out what's going on. On the stream, ex-Latin Tinkerbell says, I'm still watching and we're still broadcasting. Thank you very much for staying with us. And in the meantime, Tom goes onto the prime tyres, going for the safer banker option. I suppose it's not a bad idea, really, because when you're getting right to the end of the race in life, you've got the marbles on the track and you're going to be potentially caught up in duels. More durable rubber will get you to the end. And he's come out right ahead of his teammate by literally half a second.
Jigsaw's just up the road by about 2 seconds.
Well, Tom 65 with the lack of grip in these new tyres, throwing him very wide there. But Jamie doesn't quite get a good run either out of turn 3. He is going to have DRS, he's used his curves, but Tom 65 has broken away very beautifully there, going over these undulating hills down towards turn 4. Wide entry, narrow exit. This is where you've got to be very good on the brakes. Jamie 65 locks up on inside. Tom 65 holds out the high ground. Both guys are side by side, and Tom 65 does a masterful defence down towards turn 5. Absolutely beautiful driving. And also, while his lag has been a bit annoying at times, I'd say thanks there to Jamie trying to be as fair as possible through those middle chicanes. It might be tough, but you know, you're going off the track left, right and centre. I'm sorry, it's going to get you too much of an advantage. Maybe I'm beating an old drum, maybe I'm beating a dead horse, but the point still exists and rings true. Moving back through the field now, we've got XRL Bernie in P9, who's under threat from, someone who just lapped, I think, because who's about to lap them. Because I went back and then that was it. That was Nikita. So Nikita's being held up by these 2 lap cars. They're going to have to get out of the way in order to avoid getting any penalties here. Nikita goes literally the long way round there, totally off the track at turn 10, not even close to the apexes. Into 12 and 13, and once again takes too much entry speed into 13, goes up on the outside. But once again, you know, it's like due to the lack of gravel traps and lack of walls, they just go okay and get back on. Herman Tilker puts gravel there. Oh, now Lee's asked a very interesting question. How many cars are going to finish at Melbourne? Whoa, well that's a tricky one. I'd assume being the key word here, that the Mercedes runners will make it, and I'd also be surprised if the Ferrari team don't make it. I reckon we're going to have just enough for the points, and I won't be surprised if one of them is a Caterham, due to how reliable their car was, even if it was slow.
I'm just going to say the simple answer. How long is a piece of string?
Twice as long as when you fold it in half. Jordan on the stream says 14. Well, come on, people, give us your answers. Why not? Mr. Deeds agrees with me. He says 10. Meantime, XRL Bernie's closed up pretty close to the back of Connor Eyes now, going through 8 and 9. Both drivers taking that pretty fast and clean there. Into turn 10, this very long, painful corner. Connor Eyes goes totally off the track. Gets no punishment for it, but XRL Bernie got an excellent run there. Into turn 12, cuts the inside corner quite well. Avoids going off the track. Good driving this. Both guys pressing quite clean. Into 13, nice downhill cambered corner, gets away with that. And now we're going to be into the DRS zone. Great chance for Bernie to get close here. Wide entry from Bernie, wide exit. Good old-fashioned line there, very traditional. Flat open, curves deployed. Down towards turn 1. Is Bernie going to use this as a forward-taking move, or is he going to wait back for the next one? Holds back for now. But the question is, how far ahead of them is Nikita? Because Nikita is less than a second ahead of Connor Eyes. He might well have DRS on her and negate Bernie's advantage. Heading into the corner now, but Nikita gets great traction off the line. Bernie's going to have the DRS and the curves. Question is, has Connor Eyes got it in response? No, he hasn't. Flat goes up from Bernie, who pulls to the outside line here. Connor Eyes isn't going to be able to defend immediately, but he's coming back to the inside here, looking for a chance to go up the inside, gets on the anchors, and Bernie runs a little too deep there, goes up the track. Connor Eyes got a great chance to fight back. Down towards turn 5, mistake for Bernie, they lock tyres. Bernie on the inside, just about holds the inside line there, and Connor Eyes takes that position back beautifully. Bernie's going to have to have another go on the next lap, as Connor Eyes misses the chicane at turn 6 and gets away with it once again.
I shouldn't be in front of him. He's struggling on his tyres at the minute. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes on the options anytime.
So short, I thought it was Nikita. Meantime, Latin Tinkerbell is asking, who's my favourite driver? Oh, that's actually a really difficult question for me to answer, because there's so many drivers I respect. To be honest, my favourite driver is now retired, and that was Mark Webber, who I'm going to watch at Le Mans next year. On the current grid, I think I'm going to go with Kimi Räikkönen, purely because of his pace and his excellent way of dealing with the media. What about you? Who's yours then, Chris?
Well, because he's not only was I brought up in the same area of the country as him, and I've actually been to the go-kart track where he actually practiced as a young boy. It's got to be Lewis Hamilton.
That's fair enough, but childhood memories are always good there. Now, both XRL Bernie and Connor Isle have got DRS. Evidently, Sean Meade's struggles have helped the Williams driver, who's able to pull away here, but Bernie's got the inside line, heading to turn 4, but he's just not got the confidence on the brakes. Connor Isle locks him on the inside. Bernie almost gives him a nudge for good measure, but Connor Isle lives to survive another day. He might only be fighting for 9th, but these guys are scrapping like it's for the lead, and so they should. Connor Isle missing the chicane again, though.
I've got an interesting question for the Tinkerbell. Who's his favourite driver?
Go on then, Tinkerbell. Tell us who your favourite is. In fact, everybody, why don't you all answer that one? Who are your favourite drivers? XRL Bernie, meanwhile, going through turn 12 and 13, trying to get as close as he can to the back of Connor Isle. He's fed up staring at the back of that Williams. Who can blame him? Heading down through 13, downhill cambered corner. Doesn't quite get the run there, though, Bernie. And Connor Isle has just got the legs again. And Sean Meade finally decides he's had enough and he's going to box. Connor Isle will probably have DRS here to pull away, but he's not going to have it down towards turn 4. That's Bernie's best option and best chance to get by. Into turn 1, XRL Bernie gets a nice clean line there. Connor Isle gets a little bit of tail slip, almost tells him to spin out a bit, and then locks up very badly at turn 3. Very heavy braking zone, so easy to let your brakes there and really damage your tyres. DRS flap open, Connor Isle immediately defends to the inside. Bernie's not having any of it and just drives clean round the outside. Question is, can Connor Isle be able to block up here? Oh, just gets on the inside. And ex-Latin Tinkerbell, very interesting answer, Max Chilton. Yeah, that's what you weren't expecting.
Like I say, thank God it wasn't Sebastian Vettel. Otherwise, it's penalty for me.
Well, in the meantime, Connor Isle looking to get a decent run. XRL Bernie going through 8 and 9 into 10, and all of a sudden Bernie's gone from the hunter to the hunted. Oh, but Connor Isle got badly out of shape there, got totally out the gas and thrown off the track at 11 into 12 and 13, and Bernie's already pulled away by at least half a second. If Connor Isle isn't careful here, he's going to be out of DRS zone, and Bernie will have the chance to disappear over the hills and far away.
Interesting, you say fly away as he's in the red ball.
Beep, beep. 2-minute penalty on you for repeating the unrepeatable joke. So you've got absolutely no chance in the F4 race now.
I had to penalty for the GP2 race.
No, can't carry him over to a division you're not part of. Right, in the meantime, Nikita's now down in P3 on the option tyres. Finally gone for a box here, so it's evidently trying to make those tyres last to the end. XRL Rusty's dropped a very strong race actually in P4 in the Force India. Been quite quiet because he's not been kept that honest by many of the drivers, but has certainly done enough to get the pace. Isle of Jigsaw's meanwhile in P5. He'll probably be a bit disappointed with that. I would have expected more pace around here. It looks like his kind of track. Tom 625 paces followers. Rusty's got into the box. Now that's interesting. Is he going for one final turn and burn on the option tyres here?
Yeah, potentially. I'd imagine that's what he's going to do.
Let's get into the pit lane and find out what tyres he's on. Indeed, he has gone for the option tyres. So he's going for the all-out attack qualifying lap approach. Why not? He's got nothing to lose. If the tyres are reaching the end of the line, better to go over the line in a place of glory than fall over the line. So heading towards turn 3, Rusty's about 2.5, maybe 3 seconds adrift to Tom 625. Once these tyres lie off the temperature in the next 3 laps, he could be very, very dangerous indeed.
Well, he's just made a pit stop and he's now put on the option tyres as well.
There's no point putting in any other tyres at this point in the race. You're just too far in the race to make the prime tyres of any value. There's such a short distance to the flag now, you might as well put on the options and burn them out. But we have got a straight, I thought we had a straight fight, but it turns out Sean Bean's a full straight behind him. Damn lap cars getting in the way. Show us a different colour in the future.
Interesting that Tom 65 actually looks like he's catching Milo Jigsaw's.
Well, he is on fresher tyres, I believe, but only by about a lap or two. Not much in between them. If Tom 65 catches up to Jigsaw's though, before Rusty catches up to the back of him, that could really compromise his gamble to go on the option tyres. So Rusty's really got to hook it up together as soon as possible. The gap is about equidistant between all three cars at the moment, but that gap's very, very likely to shrink. Good thing so far is they have had a lot more drivers making it to the final stint of the race. Possible commentators curse there, but I have to say it while it's fresh on my mind. Needless to say though, it's been a race of scruffy nature. A lot of corner extending, a lot of corner cutting as well. The overtakes though have been relatively reasonable, apart from the one incident between Sean and Nikita, where Sean gifted the position back. So it's to say, if it wasn't for the corner cutting and the corner extending, this will be almost a Model F1 race. Really frustrating.
Yeah, the pace has been absolutely incredible at front. Most of them now getting into the 27s. Jamie even on the 26 now making his second pit stop with the option tyres.
Nikita's in the 25s.
Blistering pace then.
Definitely, so the pace is definitely there. But as I say, pace only tells half the story, it's how you drive. 1-1 Sawyer had a lot of pace, but look how many accidents he got caught up in. So it doesn't make you a great driver if you're a blisteringly quick one. You have to be quick and you have to be consistent. That separates the good from the great.
Yeah, and also to finish first, you have to finish. So
That's correct. It's good old Murray Walker used to say.
many quotes from Murray Walker, which will be
I'm not going to go through them here and now because we'll be here all night. I will say though, I agree with him that my favourite of his is the Legendary. And all these cars are completely different, apart from the one behind, which is exactly the same. Possibly the most useless piece of commentary in the world. Another one of his, of course, is the Legendary. And it's Senna! Senna wins the race! Senna wins! And then the caption comes up, Alan Prost.
And also
for old time's sake then, viewers, are there any other lines from the great Muddy Talker that stick fresh in your mind as the legendary quotes of commentary? Go on, get them out here, let's get them out for old time's sake.
The one about Damon Hill and he has a lump in his throat.
That's memorable for a whole different reason. That's not because it's funny, that's because it just shows how much emotion he invested in the sport, which was really magnificent to see.
Yeah. Good to see that he managed to see both his dad race, Graham Hill, as well as his son, and both of them get to World Championship status.
Now, Mr. D just come out with one that I don't remember. Hamilton and He Has My Favourite Wag. I have to do a bit of research into that one, I don't remember that one. Then again, I'm not...
Nicole Scherzinger.
Nicole, hey, what?
Wag, as in Nicole Scherzinger. They're both going in a relationship.
Who's she?
She was a singer in the Pussycat Dolls.
Who are they?
They were a band from about 10 years ago.
Right, okay, fair enough. That'll be about the time that I lived under a rock in the Far East, so that's probably why. In the meantime, XRL Rusty is getting very, very close now to the back of Tom 625. Not got DRS now, but he's easily about 1.5 to 2 seconds adrift. Great opportunity now for him to get closer. But yeah, so, well, evidently it's a memorable quote. Good call there, Mr. Deeds. Any more that you want to get read out? Why not? Get them out here while we can. Oh, Rusty makes a big mistake at turn 4, nearly goes off the track. And Tinkerbell did ask our favourite drivers and we responded. On the grid at the moment, because he's no longer racing, it would have been Mark Webber, but I'm going to go with Kimi Räikkönen. And at the same time, Chris gave us this story about going to the karting track and being from the same area as his favourite, who is none other than Lewis Hamilton. And who are yours? Get them out there. Tinkerbell obviously told us that they like Max Chilton. What do you guys all think?
I think Sean Bean has got to go for Lewis Hamilton. I'm just going to say that as he can't say himself.
Well, is he a Hamilton whore?
Yeah, that's why he's got number 22 on his car, because he won the championship in...
Makes sense. Right, in the meantime now, Rusty's actually fallen away from the back of Tom 625, who's really caught quickly to Jigsaw. Despite being on this fresher rubber, Rusty's not been able to capitalise, and he's running out of laps. Only 5 more laps to go before he's going to be ruining his mistake and being stuck in 6th position. All drivers learned on calling the race, they're really pushing hard, trying to get the maximum out of these tyres in the final stint. There's a difference between 12 points and a mere 8 points on grabs here. You've really got to get these right.
Interesting though, I've been in this racing league since November and yet I still not have met a Pastor Maldonado fan. That's a Smithy Lab 56.
Oh yes, Smithy Lab 56 loves Pastor Maldonado, he's his favourite driver in the world.
Yeah.
No, there's a reason you're not met a Pastor Maldonado fan. Pastor Maldonado's an arsehole.
Therefore does not have fans.
The only people who are the fan of Pastor Maldonado is a troll.
Or Roman Grosjean.
No, I think even Roman Grosjean will be annoyed by him. Well, we've got a 3-car scrap that's developed now. Rusty's closed up and he's in the DRS zone of Tom 625, who conversely is going to be in the DRS zone of I Love Jigsaws. Jigsaws is the man who's got the target on his back here for 4th position, but we've seen that he can fight like the best of them to retain his position. He's in P4, he's got it all to play for. Game on, viewers, we've got 4 laps to go and 3 cars are giving us the final scrap of entertainment. Well, why the hell not? Curves being deployed by XRL Rusty, response also from Tom 625. Both cars deployed at DRS flats wide open, going over these undulating hills down towards turn 4, getting heavy on the braking. Tom 625 goes to the inside. XRO Rusty thought about following him through. Collision! And unbelievably, I think that's a side pod glitch there. Jigsaw gets spun out. Rusty is side by side with Tom 625, got the inside line to turn 5, and Rusty backs out of the move knowing that Tom 625 would chop across him. But that's a possible penalty there because Tom 625 caused that by moving across, even though it looks like it was the side pod glitch.
Yeah, it's definitely side pod glitch.
Well, Tom 625 is racing for his life here. No doubt he won't actually have a drive-through. We'll only know about it at the end of the race because it's too late in the race to award a drive-through. It'll be a time penalty if a penalty's been given. Going through the final hairpin around the corner, XRL Rusty, DRS flat wide open. He's not giving up on Tom 625. He wants to be able to take this position. Into turn 1, gets on the gas and on the brakes quite clean. Falling away a little bit from Tom 625 here. Rusty's got to be careful. He can't let that Sauber get too far ahead of him as the traction will be enough to break the advantage of DRS. There goes the curves being deployed, plenty of extra power, 80 horsepower to the wheels, and there goes the flat DRS, completely in the traction zone here, really coming over the hills. Tom 625 defence in the middle of the track. Good defensive driving. Rusty thinks about going around the outside. They touch wheels once again, but Rusty has made that stick beautifully on the outside. Wonderful driving, but Tom 625 is not going to make it easy for him. Advances and go down to turn 5. Backs out of the last second, knowing that would definitely have been a collision.
Yeah, very good driving there by Rusty. Amazing mistake on the outside.
Really showed that if you've got faith in the tyres and faith in the line, you can really find the grip. Going through turn 10, both drivers keeping it nice and clean there. Tom 625 actually needs to pick up a few tenths through there. Evidently on the slower tyre and the less grippy one, he's somehow found the traction.
Nikita's just come out on new option tyres with 2 laps remaining.
Well, she's in 3rd place and there's no one else near her in front or behind. Why not just do it and go out there for glory, turn the wick up and try and blow away the fastest lap record. DRS flap on through Tom 625, but XRL Rusty's fresher tyres have enabled him to catapult away down towards turn 1. Rusty's got to be careful, he's too much to the outside curve there to scrub the speed. Has got that quite well on towards turn 3, getting on the brakes nice and early there, and it looks like Tom 625 is going to struggle here. Traction has not been very good in the Sauber, whereas Rusty's just lit the pace up. Look at the distance he's already pulled out, and there's no DRS for Tom 625, so this looks pretty much like game over, barring a mistake. Cycling back through the field, trying to see the last of the drivers, see if there's any more close action on track. Doesn't look like it to me. Now, unfortunately, there's no one else close by, so we'll stick on board now because we've actually got Sean B22, who's well away ahead of his teammate Nikita in P3. We've got Rusty in P4 with Tom 625 trying in vain to get close to him, but I just think he realises the tyres are gone and the pace is not there in the car. But it's been good to see so many of you tuning in tonight to this race here, exclusively live on twitch.tv, brought to you by GT Omega Racing and GamePod.co.uk. I will advise you tomorrow night there is no street to my knowledge for GP3, but we are going to be back on Thursday night for coverage of, I believe it's the F5000 race at India. And on Thursday night there's the Malaysia race in the 1990s Classics division, before we will be back in Sunday evening, simulcast myself and Dan Fisk on Channel 1 and Channel 2, bringing you coverage of the F1 division in the Twilight race at Yas Marina, Abu Dhabi. A race that for all divisions is 100% this week, so that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, Abu Dhabi is actually a decent track to drive at.
I hate it.
I personally enjoy it. You can get a lot of battles down the two main straights, which you can get DRS with.
It's a question really to see exactly how much pace the drivers get in the car, and also it does have the gimmick of the fact that it will start in the day and end in the night, which is not unique anymore because Bahrain's doing it this season in 2014. To commemorate their 10 years in F1, they've actually made it a twilight race.
I'm actually really looking forward to the Bahrain Grand Prix. Probably one of my favourite tracks.
You are on your own with that one.
I don't know why, it's just one of them tracks I seem to do really well on around this game. I don't know, I just kind of missed it with F1 2011 when obviously the race got postponed and therefore didn't get raced due to all the incidents that happened, but it's just one of them tracks that's a weird one, but I enjoy it.
Well, we are on to the final lap now. Needless to say, it's been a race that's been very good. Overall, Enema Mr. Indigo saying no corner cuts. There was loads of corner cuts in that I saw, mate. So absolutely tons of it. But needless to say, great win there for the top. Great performance. Takes the win, the checkered flag. Sean B22. The race ends in 5 minutes. When does it have a 5-minute countdown? Never seen that before. Going over the final corner. Rival 95 we've lost connection to. When did he leave the race? It was a long time ago. Nikita, meanwhile, in P3 is going to be following her teammate home, followed behind about 10-15 seconds later. What a difference that spin made at turn 2. But Ferrari will be happy that they've got 2 cars on the podium and also a superb job in first place as well from the McLaren driver XRL Fozzy. We've got Tom 625 and Rusty and the Jigsaw still to come, along with Jamie 2503. So Rusty now going through the final sector. He's broken clear of Tom 625 by quite some distance. So great pace. A 126.1 is actually very, very good. All very, very quick here. Into the final corner. XRL Rusty, a commendable drive to recover to finish 4th position. Behind him, Tom 625 had quite a few incidents, but he's going to finish a strong 5th place, while I Love Jigsaws, he'll be ruining that incident with Tom 65 for the side pod glitch. He might have been able to hang on for 4, but we'll see what happens. And all the other cars looks a bit a lap down, so that is the end. So, great performance there. Let's get these drivers in. On the stream, meanwhile, Enema Mr. Indigo says no corner cuts either, and he meant Yas Marina. Right, that makes a bit more sense now. Either way, we'll see what happens. So, let's get the drivers in here for the press conference. Oh, I've just invited the wrong people. Like an idiot. Yes.
I've got it switch.
So hi there, Fozzy. Welcome to the Victor's Rostrum. It seemed like a race where you had it all under control, really. You were on pole position, really good pace, and then you just seemed to drive away in the actual race itself. How did you do?
It wasn't too bad. I was a bit worried in the first stint when Sean got past us. I got the undercut in the pits. Yeah.
I mean, Excellent. Unfortunately, we did lose a bit of your mic there, so we'll try and carry on. We did notice there's quite a lot of drivers being able to push the outside of the rules a bit, extending the track. How was the track in terms of grip and drivability?
Yeah, that almost made it impossible to stay within the limits, but I think most guys managed it.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your comments there. Moving on to you, Sean. Evidently, now you remembered how to set your car's settings correctly. You seem to have a lot more pace tonight than you did in the F1 division. How was it out there on the track for you?
It wasn't too bad. I mean, obviously, you saying traction control, I forgot to turn it off because it's the wet race in Japan, which kind of hampered my week's practice, but thankfully I recognised that before the start of the race. But I was slightly hopeful at the start when I overtook Fozzie around turn 4. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, overtake of the week, possibly. But yeah. But yeah, apart from that, I mean, after that, it was just total domination by Fozzie. There was no way I could keep up with him. He just had the pace that I couldn't match. So, second place I'm quite happy with, and it's good for my championship time.
So, I mean, we did see quite a lot of drivers going outside the track limits. Obviously, we've heard the comments from Fozzie. What about yourself? How did you think it was in terms of grip and drivability out there?
I was quite surprised, actually, because it was very, very slippery. Almost as if it was Inter's weather. I mean, the car was sliding around all over the place, and I'd done a race simulation a couple of days ago, and the gears and the turning of the car just seemed to change so much for the worse. Not quite sure why, but it just seemed to be a bit of a struggle to try and keep the car on the track.
Okay. Alright then, guys. Well, thank you very much for your comments. As I did say before to all the people watching on the stream, tonight was brought to you by GP2 Omega Racing and GamePod.co.uk, exclusive on Twitch.tv. I said tomorrow night there is no Formula 1 stream because unfortunately Dan's not able to cover it and neither am I, but you may be able to see a Tales from the Cockpit on Forza 4 around about 10 o'clock if you go onto my sister channel /SS Wishbone. Also, on Wednesday evening there is going to be coverage, I believe, at the F5000 race here at New Delhi, and then there's also the race at Malaysia for the 90s race, which is on the Thursday evening, before we then come back on Sunday at Yas Marina. It's 100% distance all of next week. Every division goes the long way round in the twilight race at the desert. So in the meantime, thank you all very much for watching, and good night.